The next finger controlled weave that we're going to look at is Brook's Bouquet. So I've gotten a piece of pattern yarn here. The pattern yarn in this case is simply so you can see what's actually happening when we're wrapping these weft yarns around these warp yarns, because it's not easy to see the wraps necessarily with the same color. So I'm going to go ahead and work, and I've got my shed open. In this case, my heddle's in the down position. It doesn't matter if you work on an up shed or a down shed unless your instructions tell you otherwise. If you're going to be doing something like a staggered Brook's Bouquet, you might be told to start with the up so that when your staggers will look like they do on the sample in the project. So just keep that in mind. But in general, it can be worked on either shed. So I've gone under 2 edge threads, and then I've gone under 3. I'm going to ignore these 2. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of a plain weave edge here. So I'm going to come back under these 3 because I'm going to make my bundles and bundles of 3, and then I'm going to give that a tug. And then I'm going to stick my shuttle back in. I'm keeping tension on my wrap. And I'm going to go around and under the next bundle of 3 that I want to wrap. And then I'm going to go and wrap that bundle of 3. Now, as you can see, this works. This is usually how the instructions tell you to do it. But I think it's a lot less fiddly if you just go under that 3 and the next 3, because that's essentially what you're going to do, right? That way, when you tighten this up, you have less opportunities for slack to work its way into your bundles. So I've gone under these 3. I need to wrap these 3 and go under the next 3. And you can see that we're making these this little kind of like wheat sheaves. And yes, my agrarian roots are showing around each of these bundles. Now, if I were wanting to stagger these bundles on successive rows, I would probably choose to work in even numbers like I am, or not like I am here, but like I would if I did bundles of 4 or bundles of 6. That way, when you get to the edges, you can split them more easily. So again, you're going to have the issue with the turn here because these can only be pushed down so far when they're beaten. If you just did one occasionally, actually we can do that here in a minute. I don't need to necessarily do the whole row just like this. So let's put our pattern thread in, and let's just randomly pick a place over here. We'll do maybe 2. You can do Brook's Bouquets almost like a spot lace as well. So I've done that last one. So I'm just going to put a random one out here, and I'm only going to wrap 2 threads. And I'm going to come over here and put another random one. And we're going to see what effect that has. You won't be able to beat them down as tightly as if there were plain weave there, or like if they were spot lace, but they'll make like a little wrap that will also be kind of lacy looking, but they'll be a little less because they're going to be spaced farther apart. And then you can beat these into a straight line. And then you can come back here if you want and kind of tweak your edge just a little bit. So now you get to have a choice. You can put bands of plain weave in between them, or you can just go ahead and start doing another row of Brook's Bouquet. I'm going to put a band of plain weave in just so we can sort of see the effect here of a row of plain weave involved. Okay, I'm having to anchor this shuttle on this end because I came out of an up shed and I'm going back into an up shed, and I'm going to miss this edge thread if I don't use my pattern thread as a way to anchor that. So put that in, and there's a very basic Brook's Bouquet. You can put in a couple rows of pattern weft, and you can see that if these were a little bit tighter, you could actually kind of like anchor these down, and you would get little tiny bouquets as well. So you can do tall ones, you can do short ones. You can do a single thread and wrap it. It won't create quite the effect, but that very knotting of the warp thread will actually, of the weft thread going around, a single warp thread will also create kind of a little spot lace effect. So let's see, we're back in the downshed, so we can come back through and work a few more of these, and we can work them going either direction, obviously, and work it left to right. So I've gone under 3. I'm going to wrap this 3, and I've already set myself up to go into the next 3. I'm going to go under 6, so I'm going to wrap the last 3. I'm going to hold that tight while I pull this one through. There we go. Pinch that. Go under the 3 we just wrapped, and the next 3. Yeah, I could make this more awkward, couldn't I? Here we go. And keep the tension on with my right hand. It seems like this works better. I'm not left-handed, but somehow or another managing the shuttle with my left hand seems easier than what I was doing before. Go under the 3 I just wrapped, or that I want to wrap, and then under the next 3 that I want to wrap. And you can see that we get kind of this window pane effect in between them. I don't this is personal preference. Again, harken back to me saying a while back that I'm not a fan of open lace work. I'm not a fan of open lace work. So this sort of fits into my yeah, I'm not so sure category, but you can obviously do this in different ways. And there we go. That last one's always going to be a little tricksy. There we go. And so there you've got, like, I like putting a few picks of window pane in between them. It just kind of gives it a little bit of stability, I think. So now if I did 3 more picks of the 8-2 in gray. And there is the very basic Brooks bouquet.